January 16th, 2024. Daily Bread. Passage. Judges chapter 1, verse 1 to verse 26. Key verse 2. Title: The Lord was with Judah. After the death of Joshua, the Israelites asked the Lord, "Who of us is to go up first to fight against the Canaanites?" The Lord answered, "Judah shall go up. I have given the land into their hands." The men of Judah then said to the Simeonites, their fellow Israelites, "Come up with us into the territory allotted to us, to fight against the Canaanites. We in turn will go with you into yours." So the Simeonites went with them. When Judah attacked, the Lord gave the Canaanites and Perizzites into their hands, and they struck down 10,000 men at Bezek. It was there that they found Adoni-Bezek and fought against him, putting to rout the Canaanites and Perizzites. Adoni-Bezek fled, but they chased him and caught him, and cut off his thumbs and big toes. Then Adoni-Bezek said, 70 kings with their thumbs and big toes cut off have picked up scraps under my table. Now God has paid me back for what I did to them." They brought him to Jerusalem, and he died there. The men of Judah attacked Jerusalem also and took it. They put the city to the sword and set it on fire. After that, Judah went down to fight against the Canaanites living in the hill country, the Negev, and the western foothills. They advanced against the Canaanites living in Hebron, formerly called Kiriath Arba, and defeated Sheshai, Ahiman, and Talmai. From there they advanced against the people living in Debir, formerly called Kiriath Sepher. And Caleb said, "I will give my daughter Achsah in marriage to the man who attacks and captures Kiriath Sepher." Othniel, son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, took it. So Caleb gave his daughter Achsah to him in marriage. One day, when she came to Othniel, she urged him to ask her father for a field. When she got off her donkey, Caleb asked her, "What can I do for you?" She replied, "Do me a special favor. Since you have given me land in the Negev, give me also springs of water." So Caleb gave her the upper and lower springs. The descendants of Moses' father-in-law, the Kenites, went up from the city of palms with the people of Judah to live among the inhabitants of the desert of Judah in the Negev near Arad. Then the men of Judah went with the Simeonites, their fellow Israelites, and attacked the Canaanites living in Zephath, and they totally destroyed the city. Therefore it was called Hormah. Judah also took Gaza, Ashkelon, and Ekron, each city with its territory. The Lord was with the men of Judah. They took possession of the hill country, but they were unable to drive the people from the plains, because they had chariots fitted with iron. As Moses had promised, Hebron was given to Caleb, who drove from it the 3 sons of Anak. The Benjamites, however, did not drive out the Jebusites, who were living in Jerusalem. To this day, the Jebusites live there with the Benjamites. Now the tribes of Joseph attacked Bethel, and the Lord was with them, when they sent men to spy out Bethel, formerly called Luz. The spies saw a man coming out of the city, and they said to him, "Show us how to get into the city, and we will see that you are treated well." So he showed them, and they put the city to the sword, but spared the man and his whole family. He then went to the land of the Hittites, where he built a city and called it Luz, which is its name to this day. Daily Bread Message. Introduction to Judges. The book of Judges covers the time between Joshua and Samuel. Moses had given Israel God's word regarding laws and worship. They had no succession plan for their leader. The national leaders that God raised up during this time were called judges. 12 judges are mentioned in the book: Othniel, Ehud, Shamgar, Deborah, Gideon, Tola, Jair, Jephthah, Ibzan, Elon, Abdon, and Samson. The book of Judges records the demise of Israel, who fell further away from God. There is a recurring pattern that runs through the book. 1. Israel is unfaithful to God. 2. God sends an oppressor against them. 3. They cry out to God. 4. God raises up a judge who delivers them. And the cycle repeats. Their lawless lives are described by the repeated phrase, "In those days, Israel had no king. Everyone did as they saw fit." Gideon voices the truth that God's people should accept and live by. "I will not rule over you, nor will my son rule over you. The Lord will rule over you." The judges were not heroes in an ideal sense. They were full of weaknesses, but they did exercise moments of faith in God that brought them to conquer kingdoms and administer justice. God used them to save his people because of his own purpose and promises. One day, God will send the perfect, righteous leader for his people, the Messiah, Jesus Christ. As we read Judges, let us remember that God is faithful and sovereign and the true hero of his people. The Israelites had entered the Promised Land and had begun to defeat the inhabitants of the land. The land on the west side of the Jordan River had been allotted to the 9.5 tribes. The others had received their inheritance on the east side of the river. But by the time Joshua had died, the land still had to be secured. So the Israelites sought the Lord in the matter and inquired as to who should go up first to fight the Canaanites. The Lord said Judah shall be first, and that he would be with them and give the land into their hands. The Lord gave them victory after victory, defeating the Canaanites and Perizzites. They exacted justice on Adonai-Bezek. They even took the town of Jerusalem. When they trusted in the Lord, they achieved victory over all their enemies. But there were some the Israelites could not drive out. Some of the nations had chariots made of iron, which the men of Judah and Benjamin could not completely drive out. They would later cause trouble for Israel. Prayer. Father, you were with the people of Judah, and they saw victory after victory. Our own victories come from you. Sustain us and give us victory over our lives by listening to you. One word. It is the Lord who gives us victory.